Hey everyone, Tyson the Subaru specialist from Subaru Prince George here. Today we're taking a look at the 2023 Subaru Forester Wilderness in the crystal white pearl. I really like the crystal white on the Wilderness. I like the Stormtrooper Panda look that this kind of gives, the black and white. So Forester Wilderness, most off-road oriented Forester they make. Obviously, it's visually different than your standard Forester. And when you're facing the front of it, it is a big, aggressive front end. You got a lot of cladding for the front bumper. It's not painted. And the idea is you're gonna take this off the beaten path. It's gonna get beat up, less painted area, less paint to worry about. This is definitely a little bit more durable than your paint. And so this will take a little bit more abuse. We get the 6 LED Gatling gun style fog lights, very, very bright forward facing. We have a front view parking / off-road camera. I'll show you that inside. Big tow hook indicator. So you pop that off and you insert the eye bolt and screw it in. I will point that out in the back. They got a refresh for the 22 model year. It continues over for the 23. The headlights are a little bit more, they're a little smaller, they're a little bit more aggressive. They're all LED steering responsive. And we get that matte black hood decal, decal, sticker, whatever you want to call it. And this is matte to stop reflection into the driver's eyes. Gloss reflects a lot more than matte does, so that cuts down on the glare, which is, I didn't think it would be a big difference, but it actually makes quite a difference. And funny enough, I noticed that in the drive-through. You got more aggressive wheel arches or fender flares, whatever you want to call them. And it's the same cladding as the front bumper. That's exclusive to the Wilderness. Exclusive 17-inch matte black alloys. They come with Geolander AT tires from factory. So it's not the most aggressive all-terrain ever, but it's definitely more aggressive than your standard all-season. They went for a mix of performance and comfort. You get the Wilderness badge on the side. And unlike the Wilderness Outback, you get the cladding material on the mirror caps instead of it being painted, which I quite like. That's definitely more durable. Again, this is exposed, sticking out from the vehicle. It's gonna get beat up if you go off the trail. Integrated turn signal for safety. That's something that I am a huge fan of on all vehicles. And then the cladding at the bottom is definitely taller, I guess, higher up on the door. And you do get Forester in anodized copper. Anodized copper is the highlight color or accent color in the Wilderness. You do also end up with those anodized copper accents with the tie downs for the roof rails. And the idea is you can tie ropes through here. It's easier to secure stuff. Now, you cannot use the standard Subaru crossbars because these crossbars are thicker. They are thicker because you have a higher static and dynamic load rating than the standard Forester roof rails, and they expect that you're going to be taking more stuff with you off-road and probably going to overload the roof, so that's why they've done that. At the back, the bumper is also the cladding, and you've got those little black circles in them. That's your backup sensors. They will apply the brakes if things you're going to hit something in reverse between speeds of 1 and 15 kilometers an hour. Standard on the 23 Foresters, the bumper step pad. So normally it's all painted right here. That would get marked up if you're loading stuff in and out all the time or pets are getting in and out. It's a great add. Blacked out badging. And then the Sport Forester has a strip that's gloss along here. You got the cladding on this as well. So they've really used the cladding. I like how the rear end looks on the Wilderness Forester with that black strip, especially on the white. It's not as apparent on the darker colors. It is a power lift gate. You can do it from the door, the driver's seat, or the key fob. In the rear of the Forester, there is a ton of storage, very tall, wide, and deep amount of storage. Privacy cover is standard. So you've got the flexible piece at the rear because these seats can recline and you can adjust this accordingly. And then this hides everything from the top of the seats down, keeps things out of sight, out of mind. Very, very handy. And you can remove it easily. It's just a telescopic piece. You can see it adjusts right there and you can pull it out. Grocery bag hooks on either side. 12-volt power point for any charging needs you may have. And then if you need to fold the seats flat, you just pull this lever. One side goes down, you have the exact same button on that side for the 60% side. Got 4 hard mount tie downs, 1 in each corner. Easy to secure awkward stuff. Cargo tray is standard, kind of a bamboo pattern. I don't think it adds any extra grip, but I like the design. A little bit of storage, less than your standard Forester, but that is because you get a full-size matching tire. So it's an all-terrain tire on a matching alloy wheel. You can do 5 tire rotations with these if you want. That is the eye bolt I was talking about. Screw that in the front. You can use that as a recovery point, tow hook. But carpeted false floor. And then right here, we have an LED cargo light that turns on when you open the door. You can have it shut off if you want. We do also have this hook here. And we have, they call them grocery bag hooks. I don't think I'd hang groceries, but you're good for 3 kilograms or 6 pounds on those 2 hooks. Now, something to notice, the roof is the dark material, unlike the other Foresters with that light roof. So I don't personally feel that it makes me feel like it's closed in or tight. Some may, but that's not how I feel about it. Now, up top here, to close it, we've got the handle. We can press, we can close and lock. We can close it, we can do it from the key fob, we can close it from the driver door. Let's do this. So it's gonna lock, it's gonna close, it's gonna indicate that it's locked with audible and flash. And we're gonna confirm that by pulling on the passenger handle. There you go, it's locked. So, key fob, Subaru logo, once does driver, twice does everything. 3rd button down here is a press and hold for the hatch to open it. Press it again to stop it. Press and hold, and it'll close. In the 2nd row, there's a lot of headroom, a lot of leg room. The backs of these seats are kind of rubberized. It's not the same material as your cargo tray, but it's not cloth like the rest of them. So if you have pets or anything like that, this is not going to get as beat up. No hair is going to worm its way into the material itself. Easy to fold them up. And if you want to fold them down from here, if you can see red, it's not locked. It's locked if you can't see it. Yeah, tons of headroom, tons of leg room. I have to say, out of all of the crossovers / SUVs in our lineup, I think the Forester has the most 2nd row room. Not that you can't fit tall people in the Crosstrek, Outback, or Ascent, but I find that I have the most room in this for me. Your mileage may vary. Now, this is the StarTex or soft touch all-weather upholstery on the interior of the Forester, Wilderness Forester. So it is textured, but it's non-perforated. We've got gray and anodized copper contrast stitching. The idea is you can get this dirty and then wipe it down. Can't quite hose it out like the interior of a base model Jeep, but we're just about there. If there's only 1 or 2 passengers, fold down armrest with integrated cup holders. On the backs of both front seats, we have map back pockets. It's divided into 3 pockets here in the Wilderness. 2 USB ports for charging. Vents out of the center console, in addition to the vents underneath each front seat facing rearward. You do get the high wall rubber floor mats from factory in the Wilderness, so they have a little bit of a lip. They're form fitted. They're great. They contain a lot of stuff. And in the door card, lots of storage, bottle holder, texture. This is soft touch. This is soft touch. Wilderness badge right there. Power window. Textured material. It's very similar texture to the cladding itself. So it does all tie together. And then what Subaru's done is they've textured this area to try to make it grippy. If you're loading things on this roof, which is very, very tall, I mean, I'm essentially eye level with the top of this bar here. So if you're reaching up to put something in a car carrier or something like that, that can be a challenge. Standing on the tire is not necessarily the easiest because it sits inside the fender. So you get better purchase right here than you would on the tire. Of course, your height is going to determine that as well. Now, with it being a proximity key just has to be on my person within 46 inches. Let's lock it. So I'm not going to click it on here, but we have these lines right here. So I'm just going to touch them. It beeped, it locked. And that's just because the key's within 46 inches and I touch those lines. The sensors are in the front driver handle and front passenger handle. Now to unlock it, I just walk up, put my hand in the handle, and it unlocks. And that is because the key's, again, within 46 inches. Inside, door card looks very, very similar to the back door. Wilderness badge, you've got the contrast stitching. It is soft touch, anodized copper stitching, window lock, power windows, mirrors, more storage and a bottle holder. And then we've got this little sticker here for the rear diff temp light. So if you drive real hard, you may overheat the rear diff. If this little R diff temp light comes up, pull over and stop driving. Let it cool down. The inside of the front looks very, very similar to that of the second row. Seating material is the same. Seats have a little bit more bolstering, but very, very comfortable. I actually find this material more comfortable than the cloth or the leather, and I think it's because this material is actually thicker, has a little bit more cushion to it. On the headrest, it does have Subaru Wilderness embossed on both front headrests, and these headrests are tiltable. You can adjust them depending how you like to sit. How far forward you like to have the headrest towards the back of your head. But let's hop in and take a look at the inside. So on the inside, by the driver's left knee, we have several buttons. We have the ability to open the rear hatch, and that's a press and hold. We can turn off the steering responsive headlight. So if you don't like the headlight swiveling left or right when you turn your wheel at speed, you can disable that. We can set a height for the memory tailgate so it doesn't open all the way. And that's very handy if you park in a low parking garage where the roof may make contact, or where the hatch may make contact with the roof, or a similar situation. Scroll wheel for the brightness of the gauges. Got traction control we can disable. You can disable the start stop, and you have the ability to turn off the blind spot detection / cross traffic alert. So when I press that, that's what it looks like. And your blind spot detection looks like that when someone's in your blind spot or going to be in your blind spot on the corresponding side. Doesn't eliminate shoulder checking, but it is a great aid. Now, we do get the aluminum pedal covers with the rubber grippies in the Wilderness Forester. Steering wheel adjustment. Hook your thumb in, pull down. And the steering wheel is both tilt and telescopic. So you get to adjust it to drivers of varying heights, arm, and leg lengths. Steering wheel itself, anodized copper accent, stitching, very, very comfortable steering wheel, leather wrapped. Left-hand side, we have our Bluetooth and audio controls. You can make calls, take calls, hang up, decline, switch from AM to FM to CD to satellite. Info button will change our small screen up there, which we'll talk about in a minute. We can cycle between presets. And then we do have paddle shifters, downshift and upshift, so we can manually select our own gears if we want. Headlight switch, right here. They are auto. It defaults to auto. You have to press and hold to turn them off. But they're LEDs, very bright. And I'll show you guys those towards the end of the video as well from the outside. But you can actually see that black strip that I mentioned, and you can see how it's kind of on a raised portion of the hood. That would traditionally get more glare for the driver. It is a great aid. If you have a chance to check it out, I do recommend it. Right-hand side, we have our adaptive cruise control and our lane centering. Now, both of those systems use the 2-color stereo eyesight cameras. Now, this is eyesight 4.0, the most up-to-date eyesight Subaru offers. Wider field of vision, more responsive, sees pedestrians and cyclists earlier. So with the adaptive cruise, when you turn it on, you get that image there and an image up here of the Forester. There's 4 bars ahead of it, all the way down to 1. So the bars are the follow distance. It's a ratio. 4 bars at 100 kilometers an hour is roughly 150 to 180 feet. So when you're following, if you catch up with 4 bars, you'll follow at a safe distance. As they slow down, you'll slow down and get a little closer. But if you're getting closer to a major center, you can follow closer because everyone drives closer and faster together when you're in a location that's major. Lane centering works above 60 kilometers an hour, and you can see when I turn it on, those 2 gray lines illuminate. When the cameras can see the road lines, it'll illuminate white on whichever side it can see, and it will actually give you gentle steering input to help keep you in the middle of your lane. It is great for the second half of a day of driving. You're way less fatigued at the end. Intelligent and Sport Sharp drive mode. So Sport Sharp is exclusive to the Wilderness and Sport Foresters. You can see on the bottom left there, it says P for park. Just to the right of that, it says I for intelligent. Just turned on Sport Sharp. Intelligent, you can see that blue line. Sport Sharp's definitely more aggressive. You're going to accelerate faster. You're going to set it at higher RPMs. You're going to go faster, but you're going to use more fuel. Get more oomph out of it, essentially. And then, of course, something I didn't point out at the beginning when we started looking at this, Wilderness badge with anodized copper surrounds. Heated steering wheel. Now, it doesn't heat between here and here. It's not the full heat. It's just where you're supposed to keep your hands. But it gets absolutely cooking, which is great. It's best thing ever in the winter here. Now this little info screen we can cycle through with the info button on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Gives you just different pieces of information depending on what you want to look at. Gauges, off-road screen, weather, what you're listening to, fuel economy, date time, lots of choices. So you get to look at what you want, which is a huge bonus. It's also where our climate control displays, and it is dual zone, so it ranges from 15 on the low side all the way up to 30, 29.5. Freezing to tropical, depending how you and your passenger like it. Easy to sync it back to just driver controlled. You can see where your fan strength is. You can see where the airflow is being directed. Very easy to use. Always have your exterior thermometer and your clock up there as well. Below that, 8-inch, easy to use Subaru Infotainment screen. So it is touchscreen, but we have physical buttons down here. Access to the My Subaru app after the vehicle's registered in your name, and you get a 3-year trial to it. That'll do things like remote start, unlock or lock, all accessible from your phone, tablet, desktop, laptop, etc. Thing with Wi-Fi or data. Under apps, we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, radio. You can set other favorites if you want, and then home. Takes you back there. Now, when I put it in reverse, backup camera pops up, rear assist braking, parking sensors, and it is kind of hard to see in the shade, but it does show you the top of the bumper there, so you have something to relate to. And as I turn the wheel, those orange lines move, show you where you're gonna end up if you keep the wheel turned that way. Now I can clean the backup camera from inside, but I'm not gonna do that right now because new owner's gonna come to take delivery shortly, and I don't wanna get the back covered in washer fluid. But you just twist the rear wiper portion towards yourself and hold. I do have other videos showing that if you're curious about it. CD player is below, kind of hidden. Climate controls are adjusted from here. We have driver's side temp, passenger side temp, fan strength, AC, and max AC. Max AC is the real cold stuff. AC is moving moisture around so you don't fog up. Mode changes where airflow is being directed. That recirculates air inside. And if the passenger has a different temperature, if we're going to turn that up, and I press sync, it goes back to driver controlled. Below that, little storage cubby with 2 USBs and an aux port, as well as a 12-volt power point. Those are the USBs you plug into to access Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is an automatic transmission. You have the ability to pull it over and shift with the paddles, like I mentioned earlier. The view button gives us our front parking camera. Almost 180 degrees. It shuts off when I think you hit 8 kilometers an hour. It's not meant for high speed. Electronic parking brake. Foot on the brake and push down to disable it. We've got auto vehicle hold, which is a brake holder for construction, drive through, or rush hour traffic. And then we have dual function X mode. So this is like 4x4 low in a pickup. If I twist to the left, X mode screen comes up. If I twist to the right, deep snow and mud, and it disables the traction control. So it locks the all-wheel drive 50-50, makes the brake actuated limited slips work more aggressively. And it will do downhill descent control, and it will control the brakes while you focus on steering. It's a great system. It makes a very capable vehicle that much more capable. Turn it off, just press it, and it goes back to normal. Heated seats, and they heat up really, really quickly, even with the StarTech / soft touch all-weather upholstery. And I didn't show this either. The front floor mats get the Wilderness badge and that exclusive Wilderness pattern on it. My favorite feature ever in any vehicle, auto dimming rear view mirror. There's no switch to flick. If someone has their high beams on behind you, it automatically dims. It is great. Your side mirrors are linked to it. They're also auto dimming. And we do have 3 buttons. That's your home link. So you can hook up your garage door opener to your mirror. So you don't have to carry a bulky opener on your visor, worry about forgetting it somewhere, something like that. Up top, we've got LED map lights. We have lane sway, so it'll beep at us if we start changing lanes without signaling. Automatic emergency braking, so that saves you 10% on your basic insurance here in BC. You're less likely to hit a pedestrian or other vehicle or cyclist, etc. with that system. And that's using these 2 camera systems, or 2 color stereo eyesight cameras. SOS and roadside, that's part of the 3-year trial to the My Subaru connected services you get with most new Subarus. Little green light will be activated when the system's engaged. We have sunglass storage, and then this is our sunroof control. So it is a manual shade, but if I open the glass, it'll drag it back. It's a panoramic roof. It's huge. It does not tilt, it only slides, but you can stop it at any point. Really brightens up the interior. On the sun visors, we've got card holders, we've got vanity mirror with light, and we have a visor extender when the sun's directly to your left or right. Passenger side one is identical. So here we are at the front. That's a look at those LED forward-facing fog lights. You've got the LED headlights with those little LED surrounds. You can tell even during the day, they're very, very bright, but which is great, especially in the winters here where it's dark at 3:30 and dark till like 9 in the morning. So yeah, that's a quick look at the 2023 Subaru Forester Wilderness in the crystal white pearl. If you guys have any questions about the Forester Wilderness, any of the tech in it, any of the vehicles in our lineup, please put them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer you guys' questions and make a new video about something if I don't already have one. If you are in the north of BC and you're looking for a vehicle, please reach out to me either in the comments or send me an email. My contact info is in my About page on my channel. Again, Tyson, Subaru Specialist from Subaru Prince George. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.